A few days ago, I did a video on Starbucks and the recent protest over its new dress code where the employees are being required to wear black shirts instead of, I guess, more variety based stuff. And the intention behind the black shirts is for the aprons, the green aprons, to stand out more. And we've seen around 1,000, 2,000 employees protesting. Um, I had a rather muted response to it because I said, as much as I can sympathize with, working somewhere and then being annoyed that you can't wear the stuff you've been wearing to work for, in some cases, years, I also don't think it's the worst thing a company can do to its employees. And it's just not, a thing that's that terrible when in comparison with other stuff. But as I went and looked at my comment section, I started seeing some things that were written that were kind of goofy. Um, Now, one person I agree with them. Most Starbucks aren't unionized, so unless that changes, it's unlikely to get much traction. That's true. I'm not. If someone writes something I think is important or worth mentioning, I'll address it. But we start getting into the insanity a little bit further down. How dare a company have a dress code? So you see where that's facetious. Starbucks had a dress code before a few weeks ago or this year, and there weren't protests over it. The protest was that you made it more restrictive, and now people who have clothes that were specifically bought for the purpose of working in them now just have a bunch of stuff they can't wear anymore. So this is not about having a dress code in and of itself, but rather the fact that they tried to change it after it was one way for a protracted amount of time. This other one is by Enraged Child, and his rationale skills would convince me he's probably about 7 or 8, so I guess his username is appropriate. I find it so goddamn funny that people are whining about having to have a dress code. God forbid you do what you're told by your corporate overlords. Plus, who cares? If you don't like it, then get another job. You going to be replaced by a robot in 10 years, so get to step in and learn some proper life skills. Bunch of whiners. You know, it's like every one of these comments is almost written as though they're from some same sampled script. Again, no one is talking about Starbucks not being allowed to have a dress code. The issue here, once again, is that it was one way for a long amount of time to where people had clothes that they specifically bought to work, and now they're trying to change it, and some of the employees, thousands of them, are not taking too kindly to that, to the point of protesting. So again, that is just more misrepresentation of what the issue is. Plus, who cares? Well, apparently you do if you came to a video about it. If you don't like it, then get another job. Yeah, because we all know getting another job is very, very easy. You can just click your heels and suddenly you're working somewhere else. You going to be replaced by a robot in 10 years, so get to step in and learn some proper life skills. So, I don't, I've never made coffee for a living. But isn't it sad when you can tell people, not like, remember, you're not doing this in their face, you're doing it on a computer. You can direct comments that show that you look down on thousands of people. Starbucks is one of the biggest companies in the world. It employs, I'm going to say, at least hundreds of thousands of people. So if you're working at Starbucks, according to this guy, you do not have what did he write again? Proper life skills. It's amazing. And ask yourself, what proper, like, if we as people who are upset with the dress code, which I have at different times not really liked the stuff I've had to wear to work. But if anyone is ever dissatisfied with their dress code, either because they think it's really restrictive or it gets changed after they start working somewhere, then they don't have proper life skills. Or if we gain proper life skills like in Rage Child, are we going to spend our time writing paragraphs on a computer to besmirch people that we've never even met? Is that the pinnacle of success? That's what we should aspire to be doing. Because remember, the people that don't have proper life skills but are making coffee are getting paid. These, as far as I can tell, you're not seeing. Howard Schultz is not going to Zelle these guys $1,000 for every stupid comment they write defending his company, and Brian Nickel is not going to give them free drinks for a year for simping this hard. And just to like top this off, when people say something doesn't matter, right? Because this is what he writes in his thing, plus who cares, right? And then you have the other one saying how their company when they write that stuff, they're trying to convince you it's no big deal, get over it. But remember, when we're seeing their comments about this because they care. See, if they didn't care, they wouldn't look up videos about the new Starbucks dress code. Like, I see stories in the news all the time when I'm just scrolling on The Hill or some other website. I'm like, oh yeah, that's stupid, whatever. And I'll just keep moving along, because to me it really does not matter. But the fact that they go out of their way to not only search this stuff up, because remember, most people who see a video do not comment on it. That's a fact. They didn't even hit the like button either, but that's another story. They go out of their way to go to a video about a topic that they say doesn't matter or that they don't care about, and leave a comment about the topic that they say doesn't matter and that they don't care about. So it's all just hypocrisy. But you have to love the simping. Like, at least when people simp for these different girls on the computer, there's like the belief that if they just try hard enough, they can get in her good graces. As I said earlier, you can write however many comments you want defending Starbucks' dress code or insulting the people that work there. Howard Schultz is not going to Zelle you money for doing that, and Brian Nickel is not going to give you free drinks. It is a total waste of your time, and it's unfortunate that the people who write this stuff really believe they're better than the people who are upset with their job for making things even a little bit harder. And as I said, I'm not even someone who was totally on the side of like protesting over the dress code, because I really don't think it's the worst thing a company can do to you. It's just what I'm saying is there's nothing lost on the part of someone for just saying, yeah, that's stupid, whatever. Like they're going out of their way to tell you that you're dumb for being upset over having less options for what you wear, most days of the week. And I don't think that makes any sense, especially when you know that you get paid to wear stuff you don't like and to go to a job where they're like, restricting you. But the guys that write this stupid stuff are doing it for free. but you're beneath them somehow.